We're going to go over code.org's lesson 1 intro to App Lab. We're going to go over levels 11, 12, 13, and then end with 15. All right, so for level 11, our goal is to add a second button to the screen that says Write, and it has an ID of Write button. How we're going to do this is in the design mode, so this tab right here, we're going to drag in a new button and position and resize it, and then set its ID, text, background color, and font size. So the design tab, we can switch between the code and the design. For level 11 here, we're only working in the design one, and we want to drag over another button. We can look at this button right here. If we click on it, we can see some info about that button. So to add in our new one, I'm going to click and drag on the button item for the toolbox. I'm going to position it right about there. And then I want to resize this. It's got a little resize box down at the bottom. So I'm going to click and drag that over. All right, that looks good. So we need to make the ID Write button. The ID is kind of like the unique name of it, and it's what we see also in the properties blocks when we drag those in. So up here, we can see the properties for this button. So we want to call this one Write button, R-I-G-H-T. And then we're going to do camel case, so we capitalize the second letter, no spaces. So now it's Write button is our text. All right, that's the ID. Now you notice the text on this has not changed. It still says button. That's one of the other properties is text here. So we want to change this one to, we're going to change the text to Write, exclamation point. We can set the width and the height of these also within these property fields, or we can just visually drag them. We resized them already, so we'll leave that. So we've done the ID, we changed the text. Now we need to change the background color and the font size because we want it to look like this, where it's going to be red and it says Write, exclamation point. So we're going to change our background color. So I'm going to select that one, scroll down here, and I'm going to go to red. And we can just kind of change whatever color we want on this one here. We could also just simply type in the word red on there as well. We're going to leave the text as white, and let's increase the font size so it's about the same. Now we can actually look at what the font size is for the left button. So if I click on the left button, now it's kind of changed all of it, and we can see that the font size they use there is 30. So let's click on our button again. We're close. I'm going to type in 30, and there we go. All right, I like how that button looks, and it looks like our little preview right there. So I think we are done with, we went left. All right, cool. And that's all we need to do is we've positioned it. So we're going to finish that one. We're going to move on to level 12 next. All right, so for level 12, we can see that our button is still there. For this one, our goal is to create a screen called Write Screen, and then we're going to add a label text that says you went right. And if we look at this, basically what we're going to do is the left button. So right now the right button does nothing. The left button, when we click on it, goes to a new screen and it says you went left. So we want to do the same thing for the right. So how we're going to do this? In design mode, we're going to drag a new screen element, and we're going to change its ID to Write Screen, then drag a label onto the screen and change the text to You Went Right. And it should look like this one right there. All right, so we are in design mode, and we can kind of see all of our screens right here. And let's see here. We want to, we're not going to change the theme. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this drop down. We're going to click on New Screen. And so now we've created a new screen, and its ID right now is Screen 1. We want to change that to Write Screen. So R-I-G-H-T. And then camel case, meaning that we capitalize the first letter of each word as we add them on. Kind of like a camel has a little bump on there. So Write Screen with capital S-C-R-E-E-N. All right, Write Screen is our ID. We'll leave the background color as white. And now what we need to do is we need to add in a new label on this. So I'm going to click and drag label over here. And I'm just going to resize this one to be a lot bigger. There we go. All right, now the label, I'm going to select the label. And again, if I have the screen, this is the screen that I've got selected. I want to select the label. So here, we're going to, I'll just leave that as that. But what we want to say is what we've got up there. So the text for that label, we want to say, you went right. You went right. Exclamation point. Okay, we have that. The other things that we can see is we want the background to be red. So let's change our background color. I'm going to delete all that. I'm just going to type in red. Nope, not right. Red. There we go. Okay. And the text color we want to be white. All right. And let's increase the font on this one. There we go. And then we can also see here my text is left justified. It all kind of lines up the left side. We want it to be center aligned. So this text alignment, we're going to click that drop down and select center. That looks good. And you know what? Even though they don't say we should change the font, I'm going to change it to something fun. Yeah, we'll go with that one. All right. Cool. We've added that. So let's see. Let's look again. Do we do everything that we needed? So we added a new screen and a label that says you went right. Okay. We are done with that one. So we're going to go ahead and finish and move on to the next level. Okay, level 13. Now, our goal is the screen switches to right screen when the user clicks on the right button. Because right now, if we click on the left button, it says that, great. But if we click on right, it doesn't take us to that new screen that we want. So we're going to add that in now. So how we do that is, in the code mode, we're going to add a new on event to our program for our right button. We're going to add a set screen block inside that switches the screens to the right screen. All right, so we were in the design one, the previous level. Now we're in the code mode here, and we can see how they did that with the left one. Because what we're going to create is the same thing for the left, but for the right. So looking at this, they have on event, so when the left button is clicked, then it sets the screen to left screen and it plays a sound. So we want to do the same thing for the right button. So we start off with on event and drag that in. Now for this, we want it to be the right button. So when on the event that the right button is clicked, then we want to set the screen and we want it to go to the right screen. So what this is saying is that when the right button is clicked, go to the right screen. And let's play a sound also like they have in the left button one. And let's try that out. Left. It works. Okay. We're done. We've completed everything that we needed to for level 13. Let's move on to our next one. All right. So for sharing our app. So watch the video. I'm going to have you watch that separately because what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next one. Now you can always click on show notes and kind of see what they have. So if you don't want to watch the video, but in the video it goes through these 3 different examples and it shows you how you can share it. And what's fun is that the app that you create, you can easily email or text to yourself as well as other people so that they can view it on their phone and kind of looks and feels like a regular app. So let's click on continue. And in level 15, this is where now we're going to explore creating a more advanced app. So now our goal is to build your own app by extending this project and then share it with someone. So we can run the app, just kind of see how this works. We start off with just the you went left and you went right. Right? So it's a very simple thing. You'll notice that it's the same code that we were creating before. What we want to do now is you can choose to do a choose your own adventure, which is this one, a greeting card, which is this one, or a personality quiz. And for each one of these, it gives us kind of some details and an example. So the Choose Your Own Adventure app, we can open that up and see an example one here. It's got this wild music, and then you can choose take a nap. And we kind of keep going. For all of these, you can select view code and then see how they actually coded it. Now I know this looks like a lot right here, but all of these blocks of code, each one individually, you have already coded and you've used these things before. If we kind of look at these, we can just see that each one is just kind of referring back to a different button that somebody's going to be clicking on. And we can select on the different screens and kind of see how those things work. I'm going to go back over to these other ones. The other one is the greeting card. So we can try out the greeting card app, see how it works. So you can think of it as like be a birthday card or a thank you or invitation. And this one looks like this. Again, we've got two different links. So how do you want to celebrate? Let's do a dance party. So they play music. It has an image, and some sounds. And again, we can go to view code, and you can kind of see how all of this works. And if you want to, for any of these, you can click on remix and then kind of edit them more as we're going through. In the design mode, then we can kind of see how they created these different elements and like what the properties of them are. And that last one is the personality quiz. So for this one, we can see how it works and give us some ideas on how to create your own. So here we've got different foods, and if we select one, then it has a funny little message on there. So it's not so much a quiz, it's sort of like, hey, like what's your favorite kind of food? And it has something on there about it.